everyone, I'm Sam, and you might have been following my videos until now, covering the migration of Marketo to HubSpot. So we have covered the discovery phase, covering what needs to be considered and what are the certain aspects we needed to take in account considering these are both in different platforms. So now let's look into more a build phase. There's exactly steps what you need to follow in order to build those migration assets and follow a structured approach of this. So yeah, let's deep dive into it. I'm going to share some boards and some frameworks with you. Great. So this is kind of a overview of it. There are mostly 3 steps. And if you've been following me until now, I'm a great fan of crazy metrics, so it's always better to held an accountable and those kind of things. So it's 3 simple step frameworks. You have to set up your process infrastructure. You have to execute that steps in a weekly sprints rhythms, and then you have to assign those task assignments and QA. So obviously you won't be able to do this huge migration in a month. So that's why you need to follow a sprint methodology, and then you have a project management software. So we internally use ClickUp at Rev Partners. There can be others, but yeah, you can have a task submission process and all those kind of things. What I mean when I say is a process infrastructure. So if you taking back to you with regards to the discovery phase. So inside our discovery phase, we can confirm what was one-on-one process mapping, and in those one-on-one process mapping, there was specifically programs which was inside Marketo, that we needed to be migrated to HubSpot. So the programs are okay, so this is the program. It has this landing page. It has this workflow. It has this plugin form, and all of that needed to be migrated. So that is something what you need to do is you need to have that program name. You need to have what is the program type, the asset name, also a template of that, and then you need to have that kind of mapped out so that every week you can start tracking that out. So that's more a detailed framework. When I mean is inside a build phase, you need to have that process infrastructure, and then based on that, start executing that. So obviously, once that is done, if you again remember at the end of the discovery phase, we discovered how should we estimate time for this, and what's a basic overview of how that kind of looks like. So this is what needs to be done is we have in various in time estimates again these assets, and then what we can do is we can break down into various sprints, and then based on that we can start executing that. So this is what I did is I had that, and then I can build my whole project plan inside ClickUp. So inside ClickUp, as you see, my approach is also as per discovery in the build phase. And inside that build phase, I have those an asset which is transfer and build, which is where I store all my programs related data, and the landing page an asset related data. So this is what a transfer and build can look something like this. So if I click on this, it has various those forms and various assets, and individual those subtasks. It has those individual landing pages listed. That is what I inputted inside this in Google Sheets. So that's that. And then obviously you need to work with your a developer or someone who is a technologist, because maybe you can do it on your own, but if you don't plan to do it on, you need to follow that approach, and then you need to communicate what needs to be done. Is there any kind of specific changes? So for example, this is how what I followed is I've listed out a whole task description, and then based on we are using this in comments functionality to communicate, okay, this is the update, this is something I need, so I get notified that every time in my email inbox. So yeah, that's more breaking that down into a task level, adding the description, what is exactly you want, what is an end state you need over here. So that's that. And then I think you need to have more a continuity approach in this, and you need to follow those detailed aspects with regards to that, and then you need to follow up when you are working and then show the progress. Okay, this is what has been done, this is something that it looked like. So maybe what you can do is you can also have a QA procedure done. Is okay, someone did completed the QA. Now the job is I can look into those details. So if it's a landing page, I will open a landing page inside a Marketo, how that would look like. I will view that in a preview version, and then I would also look inside HubSpot, how a preview version of that kind of look like, and then based on that I can just have various details. Okay, this is something missing, and that's something. So that's a way done QA. Now QA also has different ways to do it. Is okay, maybe every task is done, let's do a QA, or maybe these much progress has been made, let's do the QA in the bulk. So that's the way to do it. Again, just the key over here is the consistency, clarity, and how much detail you can be when you are building this, because whatever you will build, you will be using that in particular delivery and those related aspects. So yeah, that's the way to do it. Jump into the next phase, which is a deliver phase. Once you have done building this, and hand it off to a team wise.